More than 106 million Americans have just been exposed, and this is coming on the heels of seeing 2 billion records get leaked and released as well. Today I'm going to break down why this is happening all of a sudden and where it's happening more and more, but what you can do about it. Now, I'm going to address that, but I also want to explain why this just got released today. So again, I'm going to break all this down in just a moment. All I ask is one thing, it takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So first off, how did 106 million Americans just get exposed? Well, let's look into the article. It says 106 million Americans exposed as massive data leak rocks background check firm. Now, here's what's interesting. We are all getting our backgrounds checked. And it's constantly happening. If we want to volunteer at a school, sometimes just to get your children into a school, you have to have your background checked. Oh, you want to go and move into an apartment building, or you want to get approved by the HOA? In many cases, you need your background checked. You want to buy a firearm or get a concealed carry permit? Well, you need a background check. It doesn't matter what you do, who you are, you're likely going to have one background check at least over your lifetime. Well, look at this. Let's read this article. It says, hot on the heels of the National Public Records data breach, which leaked more than 2 billion records, another background check firm has now had a leak. But why are all these leaks happening now? What's the difference between what has happened over the past 4 years versus what has happened over the past 3 months? It's simple. In less than 1 month, we have an election. According to experts, they say these data leaks that we are seeing, people can easily buy these and determine how somebody is going to vote, how they could potentially change their stance as to who they're voting for. And again, this is a massive election. This is a massive election. But I want to read a little bit of this article. It says right here, while data leaks are sometimes avoidable, in this case, MC2 data is fully responsible as it left a database containing 2.2 terabytes of personal data passwordless. Yeah, if you don't have a password on something, well, again, this is 2024. We're almost into 2025. You almost have to have a password on anything that you use that's electronic. Now, let's keep reading the story. It says Cyber News broke the story of this security incident, noting that on August 7th, its research team discovered that MC2 data had left a database containing 2.2 terabytes of personal data unprotected and easily accessible to anyone on the internet. It says the database contained 106,316,633 records with private information about U.S. citizens, and Cyber News estimates that at least 100 million individuals were affected by this massive data leak. Now, what information was leaked and how are people going to use that? Well, let's get right down to it. It says the leak included names, email addresses, IP addresses, user agents, encrypted passwords, partial payment information, home addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, property records, legal records, family and relatives and neighbors' data, as well as employment history. If you want to know how to steal someone's information, if you have their home address, you have their email address, you have encrypted passwords, right? You have their name, right? These things. It's just that alone, you could steal their information. Right? You got a lot of their information. You could probably get into bank accounts, right? With employment history, with public, property records, right? You can get into this stuff. That's concerning. And then on top of that, right, social security numbers get leaked all the time, right? All the time. And again, some of these companies, some of these banks, they don't ask for a full social security number. No, they usually ask for the last 4, just the last 4. So again, having all this information leaked at this time is concerning because this is something we are seeing happen more and more. Now, there are ways you can prevent this. Okay, so I want to address that. But before I do that, I want to give you this warning. Experts believe that this will not be the final data leak. Again, this happened they learned about this in August. So this is something that they've known about for a little bit of time. But here's the reason I bring it to your attention. We are about to see more and more campaigning. You're going to see different ads. You're going to see emails coming through. You need to make sure you protect yourself, okay? Because you don't want to see a credit card get opened up and maxed out on your behalf, and yet you weren't the one that did it. You don't want to see somebody taking money out of your bank account, just faking that, yes, they are you. You don't want that. Now, here's what I can tell you. Experts believe that over the next month, we are going to see more people just fishing for information. We're going to see more people trying to scam the American people. We're going to see some are trying to get you to use their system to vote, which will technically take you out of the system, or they will vote on your behalf. So again, just be aware this stuff is happening, and experts anticipate that in this next month, we are going to see more and more of it. Now, I want to read you this. It says, follow these tips to protect yourself from data breaches. Number 1, remove your personal information from the internet. It says, while no service can guarantee the complete removal of your data from the internet, a data removal service is really a smart choice. They aren't cheap, and neither is your privacy. Yeah, that will work. Just take everything off. But again, this is the internet. Once it's on the internet, it's very hard to get it off completely. So just keep that in mind. The next one, number 2, be wary of mailbox communications. Bad actors may also try to scam you through snail mail. The data leak gives them access to your address. They may impersonate people or brands you know and use themes that require urgent attention, such as missed deliveries, account suspensions, and security alerts. We see this all the time, where you get phone calls, you get letters in the mail, right? You get emails that, if you don't address this situation immediately, they're going to take you to court. If you don't address this missed payment, well, we are going to garnish your wages. We're going to put a lien on your home, right? You see that all the time. And it's just going to get worse, especially as more and more information gets leaked. And then, look at this one. It says, be cautious of phishing attempts. Be vigilant about emails, phone calls, or messages from unknown sources asking for personal information. Avoid clicking on suspicious links or providing sensitive details unless you can verify the legitimacy of the request. Now, I get emails all the time. And a lot of emails that I get, which is interesting, I get emails because, for my kids, for school or anything like that. And I've told the schools, if you send me an email, I will not even open it. I'm not even going to open it. I will not click on any links that you send, right? You send if it's through a text message, not going to open it. Send an email, not going to open it, okay? You send a letter, unless you physically give it to my kid and he brings it to me, I'm not going to listen to it. Okay? I'm not going to read it if you send it to my home address or an office. It's not going to happen. Again, just trying to protect myself, my family. And then, number 4, monitor your accounts. It says breaches of this magnitude will make it a necessity for you to start routinely reviewing your bank accounts, credit card statements, and other financial accounts for any unauthorized activity. If you notice any suspicious transaction, report them immediately to your bank or your credit card company. This is also one of the reasons why many financial experts recommend that you make any purchase, whether it's online or in person, you purchase things with a credit card. A credit card will give you a greater sense of security, because if you didn't buy something, right, then there you go. You go right to the credit card company and they will take that off. They will reimburse that amount. Sometimes they'll look into it, but in most cases, they'll take it off. when you pay with a debit card, it doesn't work like that. Banks will be very unlikely to return your money because you were scammed out of whatever. They'll look into it, but it's highly unlikely they'll actually return your money. So just be prepared for that. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with, just a short time ago, 2 billion records were released. Now 106 million people were just exposed. This 100 plus million people that their information was just exposed, they need to be cautious as to what they open, how they spend money, right? Just anything. Be prepared because according to reports, we are about to see a surge in scams and phishing attempts. So, if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.